also known as Nanny.
And today we're going to show you guys how to make homemade cinnamon rolls.
They're really good.
Oh, she always makes them for breakfast. They're so good.
For this recipe, you're going to need butter, powdered sugar, brown sugar, granulated sugar, flour, oil, cinnamon, salt, yeast, and warm water. The first thing we're going to do is put the warm water in the bowl. Zach, do you want to put the water in?
Sure.
We're going to put in 3 tablespoons of yeast.
Oh wow, look at that.
Whoa.
It's my favorite part of bread.
We're using little packets of yeast that contain just slightly less than 1 tablespoon. You'll probably need about 4 of these little packets, but you can use the leftovers for another project. Next, David, will you add 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar and then sprinkle it over the top of the yeast. Now, this sugar acts to activate the yeast. It feeds the yeast so the yeast will grow or proof. Now you may ask yourself, why are we putting so much sugar in this dough if you watch the bread video where we only used a couple tablespoons? That's because this is a sweet dough. We're making cinnamon rolls, not bread.
I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt.
We're going to add 1/2 cup of oil. All right, go ahead and stir that. And remember, if you watch the bread video, we added the flour a little bit at a time. Here you go, Alyssa, you want to dump the first cup in?
Yeah, sure.
How many cups do you need of flour?
We're going to put in about 5 cups of flour. So how many is that?
Wow.
That's 2.
And we're not going to put any more in until we see how that mixes in. So we have the 4 cups of flour in here, and because of weather conditions, I'm thinking it's just about right. But I'm going to take a little bit of flour, put it on our counter. Remember how we did the bread dough? We poured it out, and we, what?
You fold it around and knead.
What do we call that?
Kneading.
Kneading. Okay, so now with this dough, we have to knead it for a good 10 minutes. I'm going to turn, pick this end up, push it towards me, take the palms of my hands, push down and away. So I put a little oil on the counter so that the bread dough wouldn't absorb more flour. One thing about bread dough, you can knead it for a long time and it loves you when it's done. Look how good she is at this kneading of dough.
I would say all the slime playing has paid off.
Yes, it
Who
has.
knew?
Who knew slime could teach you how to make bread? So you may wonder, why do we need the bread? Well, for one thing, you get a very smooth consistency to your dough, but it also helps bring out the gluten so that your bread will have a nice texture and not be full of air holes and crumbly. Okay, so Alyssa has kneaded the last of this bread really well. So we're going to now put it into our pan that has a little bit of oil from the bread. We're going to put it back in our bowl. We're going to cover it with the towel and let it double in size inside the bowl. When the towel starts to poof, you'll know it's ready to go. So the dough, as you can see, has doubled in size. Now that can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It depends on how hot your house is, okay? So we're gonna punch it down now. Who wants to do that?
I do.
Okay, so go do it gently, okay?
Whoa.
Notice there's big air bubbles in it everywhere because the yeast is making it rise. We're going to put some oil down because we have to roll this on an oiled surface. So I'm going to push this around at about the rectangle size I think the dough will go to. Then I'm going to have a little bit of oil. I got enough on my hand. I'm just going to put it in the cookie sheet. Alyssa, can you tear enough parchment paper to cover this?
Yeah.
I like to cook on parchment paper because things don't stick and it's way easy to clean up. So we're going to take our dough, which is perfect,
Oh.
and we're going to just knead it a couple of times. And now, here's the fun part.
I'm going to put the parchment paper on the tray.
And because I put a little oil, the parchment sticks really well. And then I'm just gonna take my oiled hand, I'm just gonna run it on the parchment. And that'll be plenty. Now we're gonna start pressing the dough out. Normally I would use a rolling pin, but we don't have one today with us. So we're just going to stretch it with our hands.
And it's way more
David,
fun.
you wanna try stretching it? We're gonna try to keep it in a rectangle shape because that's what we're gonna cut. So we wanna try to get the dough evenly stretched. Sometimes it's hard because it feels like it gets really thin on one side, not the other. All right, now the fun part. David, get the cinnamon.
Oh, this is the best part.
And we're gonna just sprinkle the cinnamon.
Around the whole thing?
Now,
Like that one?
yep, more. Keep going. My kids all tended to like lots of cinnamon, so you can put as much cinnamon as you want, a lot or a little, depends on your taste. So as you can see, I put a pretty healthy dose of cinnamon on my cinnamon rolls.
You want to cover the whole top of your dough with cinnamon, just like we did here.
Now who wants to grab the brown sugar? Some people use granulated sugar, but I like it better with brown sugar. It gives it a nice, rich, molassesy, gooey, yummy taste. So open the brown sugar, and we're just gonna grab a handful and then sprinkle over the top. I've discovered over the years that we don't need the extra butter in the middle. The cinnamon and the sugar work just fine. Now the really fun part. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Whoa.
This is what makes it a cinnamon roll.
Oh, that looks good. I'm so excited.
Now there's two ways to cut cinnamon rolls. So David, can you see the dental floss? Can you take me off a big string of it? So let's try this way and see how it works, okay? You take the dental floss, slide it under, then make a cross and pull.
Oh.
What do you think?
It's a good idea. It actually works.
You're gonna go under and then across. Make sure your dental floss touches it as you're pulling.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
And then look what happens.
Oh, that one's good.
If the dental floss doesn't work out for you, you can always take a sharp knife and just cut it. And
Oh,
there you
that
go.
feels so cool.
Let's see.
So you want to cut your cinnamon rolls about an inch thick. That's too thick, too thick, too thick. About an inch thick.
Okay.
So right about there.
There we go.
I think I did it. Wow.
It's really satisfying when you do it, and you just
Yeah.
snaps, and then it's like really good. Does anyone have non-oily hands?
You wrap it around your finger like
Oh,
this,
yeah, there you go.
and then pull.
Okay, that's a good
Okay,
hack.
so just wrap it around your finger.
gonna
If your
try
string
another one.
gets too oily, like Alyssa was just saying, when you go to do it, wrap it around your finger and it'll lock over itself, and then it won't be slippery. There you go. See how we wound it around his fingers?
Oh.
Perfect.
Let me try that hack. Ooh, it does work that way.
Okay.
There we go. And
That was cool. Perfect.
perfect.
Whoa.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, now we have a little bit of leftover filling. So what I usually do is I take it and I just sprinkle a little bit over the top. Okay, we're gonna cover these with a towel again and let them rise until they're double in size. Okay, the cinnamon rolls have risen. So we take the towel off.
They're even bigger.
That's so much bigger than
They have
so
doubled in
good.
size. Alyssa, do you want to carry this one?
Yeah, sure.
David, can you open the oven? We're going to put them in a 425-degree Fahrenheit oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on them. When they're golden brown, they're done. While our cinnamon rolls are in the oven, we're going to make the glaze. A lot of people make glaze with just milk and powdered sugar. I like to add a little bit of butter because a little bit of fat makes it a little creamier. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon and a half of butter. So do you want to mix that around really good? Now I'm going to pour in just a splash of vanilla, so maybe a half a teaspoon. We're going to add a cup of powdered sugar, but we're only going to add a little bit at a time. So can you put a little bit into the butter while Alyssa mix? I'm going to add about a tablespoon of milk. I'm going to add just a little bit more milk. It's a little bit thin, so we're going to add about a half a cup more of powdered sugar.
This would be
And
fun.
what do you think?
Okay, little burnt. The top ones are completely black. Oh my gosh. This is. Uh-oh. What did we do wrong?
I'll tell you what we did wrong. And this is what happens when you bake in an oven you've never baked in before and you don't know that the heat's coming from the top down. So now we know never to put anything on the top rack.
Oh my god. What am I gonna do?
Oh man.
While the cinnamon rolls are hot, right out of the oven, we're gonna take the glaze and we're gonna spoon it over. So just start pouring it,
Can I
spooning
just, like,
it
do it
over.
everywhere?
Yep, just everywhere you wanna put it.
In case you're wondering where Zach is, he went swimming and now he's taking a shower, so he's missing out.
All right, this is the very best part. You get to eat them. We let them cool for a little bit so they're not gonna burn our hands.
This is amazing.
Oh, he has a plate.
You brought yourself a plate, Owen?
So cute.
Yeah. Everybody's ready for this.
Get you, get you.
I know who wants this one.
Mommy?
Mommy.
Is this mine?
Yep,
This looks so good.
perfection.
Oh, he got out of the shower.
Wow, those are good.
Do you want to try one?
So good. Oh my god.
Does everyone agree they're
They're
fantastic?
fabulous. In fact, I'm gonna share mine with Papa. Papa, you want some?
Definitely try this
Oh, I
out.
love a little taste.
Oh, wow.
You guys make these?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Perfect.
And
Here's
just for me,
Owen.
too.
You like
He's
it? Oh,
really excited.
you got a cinnamon roll.
Ooh.
Say thank you, Nanny and Sasa and Didi and Gaga.
Is it
What do you
yummy?
think? Is it yummy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're so good.
Thanks for